This is Straight Up Talk with Sharon and Peter. We are both proud Brits and Canadians. This is a no-nonsense weekly podcast about people, life, leadership, and all sorts of stuff. We don't always agree. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Straight Up Talk with Sharon and Pete. I'm Sharon.
And I'm Pete Johnson.
I don't know why that always makes me laugh, but it does. Topic this week, one that is an interesting one for us because we're both on the same page here. Why do some people appreciate directness while other people experience it as rude, aggressive, or even threatening? So it's all about being direct. So the definition I'm going to give here is something that actually is our philosophy. Say what you mean without being mean. That's it. Not sugar-coated ambiguity.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Before I tell the story, what are your thoughts, Peter?
Well, I mean, I think I got my directness from my mum. She was very good at saying what she thought and she being very direct to people. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But most of the time, she at least people knew where they stood. So I definitely got it from my mum, I think. I don't remember too much about it. My daddy left when I was too young, but
right.
Yeah. But I remember my mum being very direct. On a few occasions, she would tell neighbours off. Your kids are a nuisance. Keep your kids in their own garden and
right.
do this and that and just general stuff. Growing up, she was just very direct, and it worked for her really because people respected her afterwards.
Well, I think what's fascinating for us is that when we met again back in 2012, and we got together, this was before I'd done the psychometric assessments with Thomas, and then we did them, and we're both, because the psychometric assessment is called the PPA, Personal Profile Analysis. It's based on the DISC framework. You and I are both high dominance, which means we are direct, assertive, and all of those things that can cause challenges, but we're like that with each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a story.
Fireworks. Bring it on.
So this story involves a couple of our friends, Norman Nuller, very good friends. We had them over for dinner, and you and I both take turns to cook. We're both pretty good cooks. I'd made a dinner, and we were sitting around afterwards, just chatting away. And I said to Norman Nuller, was it okay? And they were, yeah, really liked it. Thank you very much. And I said to you, okay, Peter, what's your thoughts about the dinner? And you said,
wasn't your best. Yeah.
So,
which is a normal comment for me,
It was, what was funny about that was the look on Norman Nuller's face. They kind of bunny rabbit froze in the moment.
Yeah, well, especially Norm.
Well, because he's not at all completely direct like we are.
Yeah.
So even though I took it because I can, I don't think it was very pleasant for them.
No, that's right, yeah.
I think that's one of the big challenges about being direct.
Was it a chili that time? I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't spicy enough.
Spicy enough for me, yeah.
So
that's what I meant, yeah.
You could have put some more spice in it instead of just eating it all, but you didn't do that.
Exactly, yeah.
So they were very uncomfortable in that. We got through it because we have a good relationship with them, and they called you a jackass, or I did, probably me.
Yeah.
But then I got my own back the next day.
Next morning. Breakfast.
At breakfast, which
John O's Caff.
Because you always make a great breakfast.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think they knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pete. That was good, but it wasn't your best.
Yeah, well, that's it. It all ended as a bit of fun.
Well, it did between us. But what's interesting, I looked at the psychology of why people resist direct communication. And the reason is that our brains are wired to avoid social rejection. Humans were social creatures, and for most of human history, being excluded from the group could actually mean death. So modern neuroscience shows that social rejection activates many of the same brain regions as physical pain. So when someone hears, your presentation wasn't clear, your dinner wasn't good enough, they might unconsciously interpret that as you're inadequate, even though that's not necessarily the message that was intended. So direct feedback creates uncertainty about status, about belonging, and about competence. And the amygdala, remember we talked about the amygdala, that little thing in the brain that's our reactionary emotional control center. When the cerebral cortex picks up this information, sends it to the amygdala, it interprets it as a social threat. So it starts to get worried, sends out stress hormones into the body, adrenaline, cortisol, gets you ready to fight, flight, or freeze. So when you're in that state, it's very difficult to be rational back, really difficult. So because the amygdala doesn't know the difference between threat to survival and a threat to ego, which is what sometimes direct feedback can be. And I think what's interesting as well is it's different depending which country you're in. Right?
Definitely.
North Americans are taught to prioritise harmony, and from childhood many people hear, be nice, don't hurt people's feelings, don't make a scene. And my favourite, I hate this one, if you haven't got anything nice to say,
don't say anything at all.
Then don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
That is the worst piece of
advice ever.
Yeah. Because you go to the Netherlands, they're a very direct culture.
Definitely, yeah.
The Dutch, they're famous for directness.
Yeah.
So, a manager might say directly, this proposal's got several flaws, right? They're not considering that as rude, but they view it as honest and respectful.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
Right. So sugarcoating can actually be seen as being dishonest in those cultures. Germany, Israel, also very direct. You and I spent time in Israel.
We did.
Have you got any experiences about directness that you could share?
I'm going back 40 years the last time I was in Israel, but yeah, I mean, I pretty much learned straight away after only working there for a week or so that you get told to do something, and if you haven't done it right, they'll tell you. They don't beat around the bush. You got to go and load up them bananas or whatever onto a truck, and we expect you to be done by lunchtime. And if you're still there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they want to know why, and they let you have it,
an expression that we just come to keep using recently is life's hard. Get a helmet.
Well, that's Greg from the gym. That's one of Greg's favourite quotes. Life is tough. Wear a helmet.
But I mean, we have to be careful with it as well. I think we're from the UK, obviously, which is moderately direct, which may surprise many Canadians because Brits can often be direct in wording, but direct in meaning. So a British manager might say, "You might want to reconsider that," meaning that's a terrible idea.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas you and I are actually quite direct. But we have to be very careful about how that is delivered and how that lands on other people. I got some feedback a few years ago because I did my PPA, we did yours, and we looked at, we're both very high in directness. Oh, actually, horse shows. There was a couple of years ago when we were with our group of friends from the Jonas Performance Horses group, and we're sitting around, and you and me, I don't know what had happened.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
But we were swearing at each other and calling each other all the names under the sun. And then there was a bit of a hush and people saying, "Oh, Sharon and Pete, danger, they're going to get a divorce." And next minute I'm sitting on your knee and we're having a cuddle again. Because people don't behave like that normally. So now they know us. We
was unloading the trailer into the store, into the tack room, and I brought something in that wasn't yours or something, and you went, "That's not mine, you idiot," or something,
I wouldn't call you an idiot.
But anyway, and I said, "Oh, shut up," I was like, and then they thought, "Oh dear, it's all kicking off." Yeah,
so it's interesting because I've been given feedback which I was really surprised at, because unless you ask other people how do I come across, you don't often know. And in a good way, the feedback I got was I can be authentic, I can be engaging, I can be funny. I like that one. I like to make people laugh. So I said, well, how can I come across when it's not so good? And and they got the feedback, well, intimidating and aggressive.
Yeah, the aggressive thing, yeah.
And I was surprised because I don't wake up in the morning going, yay, I'm going to be intimidating and aggressive today. You can't control how people respond to you. That's on them.
Yeah.
But what you can do is control how you're showing up. And I think people like us who have a natural propensity to be assertive without breaking a sweat, we need to be paying attention to how we're coming across.
Yeah.
You have a story about the market.
Yeah, the market. I'd only been there a couple of years, and I didn't know everybody, but most of the vendors knew each other. I was kind of like still the new guy, you know. And then there was this one morning when I was setting up, and I sell brand new ladies' fashion, as you know, and it's all tagged, it's all brand new. And as I'm putting it out early one morning, this guy comes walking across smoking a cigarette.
Right.
So I've already got like 4 or 5 stands out already, and he comes up, starts talking to me, and I very quickly get him away, because the last thing you need on brand new clothing is cigarette smoke, because you can't get rid of it. The only way you can get rid of it is wash it, and once you've washed it, it's not new.
Yeah.
You can't sell it as new. So I was very direct with him, and I was probably, you know, if I
what did you say?
I think I said something like, get away from the clothes, don't smoke around the clothes, okay? I've told you before, because I had warned him before. He was a like constant smoker, you know, like he'd put one out and then 2 minutes later he's lit one up again. He was like a chain smoker almost. I said, I've told you before, don't come around the clothes when you're smoking. Just go away. And all the other vendors looking at me going, oh my God. You know, I haven't seen Peter like that before. But it's true, because, you know, I've got thousands of dollars worth of stock hanging on the rails, and, you know, there is a rule in the market. There's no smoking. It's a no smoking venue. You can't smoke. Right. You have to go outside the marketplace to smoke if you're a smoker. Same as having a beer. If you want to have beer, you have to go to a bar or something, you know?
Yeah.
But, he was one guy. He used to breach a lot of the rules, actually, and... you know, I told him straight, and he never spoke to me again.
And he didn't like it?
Didn't like it. He didn't take it very well. And, he did. I think that's the last time we ever spoke.
Well, but it's what's fascinating about that is pushing boundaries. He was pushing boundaries, and it got to the tipping point for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you came across a bit strong, but there was a point in which there was a real potential damage to your goods that you
He's not going to buy me clothes, is he?
Well, you never know, he might.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that, yeah.
No, I remember a few years ago I was on a board of people, and we were having a meeting, and I was talking about somebody, and this person interrupted me a couple of times, and I let them interrupt me. And then the third time I said, would you mind not interrupting me?
Yeah.
And you should have seen their reaction.
Yeah.
They went, oh, how dare you? It's like they suddenly took offence. It's like, I want to hear what you have to say, but can you let me have my say first, please?
Yeah.
But that person was mortally wounded, like I stabbed him in the head or something. Now, I probably would have been a bit more, I wouldn't say it quite that way now.
No.
Because the danger is that you are wounding people, and that's not the intention, right? So it's when giving people, most people confuse intent with impact, which I think is interesting. And this is my brutally honest takeaway of the week, is that direct communicators often think, I'm helping by being honest, because we think, let's keep clarity uppermost in our minds here and be absolute direct. But the receiver often thinks, well, they're criticizing me, right? So research from organizational psychology consistently finds that people tend to judge themselves by their intentions and others by their behaviors.
Right, yeah.
So a direct communicator focuses on intent, and the listener experiences the impact. Directness delivered with care is far kinder than avoidance. So again, say what you mean without being mean.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, and your brutally honest takeaway of the week.
Oh, I'll keep it short and sweet again. When you go to the market, ladies and gentlemen, don't smoke, please. You're only spending 10, 15 minutes there. It's a beautiful Friday morning. Wait till you're far away from the marketplace before you have a cigarette.
That's got nothing to do with being direct.
I know.
On that note, thank you for listening. If you want any more information about anything we've done podcasts on, or you want to share with us ideas, go to the website beabetteryou.ca. There's a tab called podcast. Send us a message. And this week's podcast has been thoughtfully produced by the Isle of Sound. It is good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.